everyone, welcome to Hot Nerd Network, the ultimate destination where we celebrate diverse personalities from the real world to the fantasy one. I'm Hot Nerd Sid, your guide through the captivating worlds of fandom. And today we embark on one of my favorite journeys into the intricate realm of personalities, exploring the Myers-Briggs type indicator and its fascinating characters. Get ready to dive deep into the minds of our favorite fictional personalities as we decode their Myers Briggs types. This video is split into three education levels: the Fool, the Page, and the Sage. So feel free to skip to the timestamps in the description below if you're already familiar with the basics of Myers Briggs. Now, without further ado, let's unravel this typology system together. Part 1: The Fool. Okay, let's lay the foundation by understanding the basics of the Myers Briggs Type Indicator, or in short, MBTI. This tool categorizes conscious, cognitive personalities based on four dichotomies, each represented by a letter. The first is the spectrum of energy flow, the natural direction of energy movement from I introversion to E extroversion. The second spectrum is of perception, the natural means of gathering information from S sensing to N intuition. The third spectrum is of judgment, the natural criteria used for decision making from T thinking to F feeling. The fourth spectrum is to open or to close, the natural attitude toward time and space, from J judging to P perceiving. Side note, this will be our cast of characters for this video to represent all 16 Myers-Briggs types. Now, let's break it down further to the basics of what each letter means. Introverts direct energy to inner experience and gain energy from solitude, while extroverts direct energy to the outside world, thriving in social settings. Sensing types prioritize the concrete and sensory, attending to present circumstances, while intuitive types prioritize the abstract and speculative and are oriented to future possibilities and patterns. Thinkers make decisions based on logic and the principles of cause and effect, using empirical validity to evaluate decisions, while feelers consider the appraisal of emotional well being and the worth of using human values to evaluate decisions. Judgers prefer a settled approach to time, structure, and planning, whereas perceivers prefer a flexible approach to time and are mostly casual, spontaneous, and adaptable. These four dimensions create 16 personality types, each with its unique traits and motivations that we wear on the outer skin of our ego. As we journey through these characters' personalities, keep these fundamental aspects in mind. Now, where did this typology system even come from? And how is it related to our overall human psyche? Ego consciousness, the formation of I, is the most visible part of the human psyche, but it is not the only part. Carl Jung's groundbreaking work laid the foundation for Catherine Cook Briggs and her daughter, Isabel Briggs Myers, to create the Myers Briggs type indicator. They were inspired by what Jung called psychological types that shape our most conscious approach to the reality of life. Jung's psychological types introduced the concepts of attitudes and functions, essential components that influence the way our ego engages with the world. The two major attitudes are introversion and extroversion. These attitudes represent the fundamental orientation of our ego as it navigates life's challenges and experiences. In addition to attitudes, Jung identified four functions that play a crucial role in shaping our psychological types: thinking, feeling, sensation, and intuition. Sound familiar? They should. These are the four functions described by the two inside letters of each Myers Briggs type. All four of these functions contribute to our ego's adaptive tasks and requirements, influencing how we perceive, interpret, and respond to the world. The core ego's disposition toward adopting a particular attitude and function combination forms its characteristic stance toward the world and the assimilation of experience. Jung proposed that the dominant hero disposition is an inborn genetic tendency leading the ego to prefer one attitude and function combination while relying secondarily on another complementary function for balance. The third and fourth attitude and function combinations, according to Jung, remain less used and consequently less available and developed. The third and fourth functions usually develop from societal pressures and strike the subject as artificial. These attitude and function combinations, as outlined by Jung, constitute what he termed the psychological types. For example, combining the attitude of extroversion with the function of feeling gives rise to the specific function of extroverted feeling, which can manifest as a dominant, auxiliary, tertiary, or inferior function within an individual. Depending on the presence of this function and its placement in your function stack, determines what Myers Briggs type you are. For example, all of these Myers Briggs types and characters shown here use the function of extroverted feeling in varying levels of dominance. Each Myers Briggs type emerges as a unique mix of four psychological types, each in varying stacks of dominance over one's ego consciousness. As we progress into part two, let's delve deeper into the intricacies of these functions and explore how they shape the rich tapestry of personality within the Myers Briggs framework. Part two, the page. All eight cognitive functions play a unique role in shaping our approach to the world. These functions are the building blocks that form the core of Myers Briggs type indicator, influencing how we engage with the external world and introspectively with ourselves. Before we delve into the functions, it's essential that we remember the attitude framework. Extroverted functions are geared toward engaging with the external world, focusing on interaction and exploration. Introverted functions are directed inward, emphasizing self reflection and understanding. Now, don't go thinking that if you're an introvert, all of your functions will also be introverted. We are always going to have two extroverted and two introverted functions in varying levels of dominance. Okay, with that reminder, let's explore each of the eight functions as well as two of our fictional cast of characters that exhibit the dominant version of each function. First function up is extroverted sensing. The two Myers Briggs types that use extroverted sensing as a dominant function are ESTP and ESFP. ESTP Merida of Dunbroch from Brave and ESFP Anakin Skywalker from Star Wars exemplify the dominant function of extroverted sensing, which focuses on enjoyment through the sensory experience of the world. Merida showcases her extroverted sensing dominance through her keen attention to physical sensations, agility in navigating the environment, and a strong orientation to the present, seeking pleasure and excitement in her adventurous pursuits. Her impatience and occasional short sightedness reflect the impulsive nature associated with extroverted sensing. Anakin Skywalker, with his lightsaber prowess and exceptional piloting skills, showcases extroverted sensing as well. His focus is on the present moment. It is evident in intense battles, seeking pleasure, excitement, and relying on his instincts. Anakin's trust in the world is grounded in his belief in his own abilities, occasionally leading to impatience and a short sighted perspective. Now, with every dominant function comes an inferior function pair. The inferior function pair to extroverted sensing is introverted intuition. The two Myers Briggs types that use introverted intuition as a dominant function are INFJ and INTJ. INFJ Elsa from Frozen and INTJ Haku from Spirited Away manifest the dominant function of introverted intuition, characterized by a focus on meaningful ideas and a deep orientation towards grabbing the underlying essence of something. Elsa, in the enchanting frozen world, navigates the magical journey with a resolute will, seeking insights into truth and being while approaching the world with a unified vision for harmony. Occasionally appearing aloof, she rationalizes her actions defensively to uphold her ideals. In Spirited Away, Haku exemplifies introverted intuition as he guides Chihiro through the spirit realm, attending to his own profound concepts and seeking insights into truth. His experiences are driven by a strong will, and he approaches the world with a unified vision, occasionally appearing aloof due to his rationalizing nature. Next function up is introverted sensing. The two Myers Briggs types that use introverted sensing as a dominant function are ISTJ and ISFJ. ISTJ Miguel O'Hara from Spider Man the Spider-Verse, and ISFJ Cady Heron from Mean Girls showcase the dominant function of introverted sensing, characterized by attending to one's own classification of details and oriented to the past and its importance. Miguel attends to his own classification of details, facing a keen awareness of his surroundings and his responsibilities as Spider Man. Oriented to the past and its significance, he carries the legacy of the original Spider Man with reverence. He reflects a conventional and risk averse approach to life's realities. In the high school landscape of Mean Girls, Katie meticulously attends to her own classification of details, observing the intricate social dynamics of high school life. Oriented to the past and its importance, she navigates the challenges of adolescence by drawing from her past experiences. Seeking familiarity, stability, and security, Katie experiences the world through careful comparison, incrementally adapting to the intricacies of the high school hierarchy. Her approach to the world is characterized by a conventional mindset, occasional stubbornness in her quest for authenticity, and a risk averse disposition, reflecting the stabilizing influence of introverted sensing. The inferior function pair to introverted sensing is, you guessed it, extroverted intuition. The two Myers Briggs types that use extroverted intuition as a dominant function are ENTP and ENFP. In The Office, Jim Halpert exemplifies the ENTP personality type, showcasing the dominant function of extroverted intuition. Jim's character consistently engages with novel possibilities, bringing creative ideas to life and infusing the workplace with hope, inspiration, and optimism. However, this penchant for exploration can lead to occasional erratic and impractical behaviors, highlighting the whimsical nature associated with extroverted intuition. Similarly, in Avatar The Last Airbender, Aang, an ENFP, mirrors the extroverted intuition approach. Aang's open minded exploration of possibilities and commitment to positive change align with the ENFP's characteristic optimism. Like Jim, Aang's occasional erratic decision making showcases the challenges inherent in navigating the boundless potential of extroverted intuition. Next function up is extroverted thinking. The two Myers Briggs types that use extroverted thinking as a dominant function are ESTJ and ENTJ. ESTJ Blair Waldorf from Gossip Girl and ENTJ Lord Voldemort from the Harry Potter franchise exemplify the dominant function of extroverted thinking, characterized by a resolute focus on order and structure. In the elite world of Gossip Girl, Blair tenaciously attends to social problems, creating meticulous order and efficiency within her circle. Her assertive approach tackles challenges head on, occasionally revealing hasty decisions, a judgmental nature, and a desire for control, showcasing the complexities of navigating high society with a strong extroverted thinking function. In the wizarding realm, Lord Voldemort's ruthless pursuit of power epitomizes extroverted thinking, attending to problems with tyrannical order and an unyielding quest for consistency. Voldemort experiences the world through a results oriented lens, asserting control with a hasty and controlling demeanor, reflecting the darker side of extroverted thinking for sure. The inferior function to extroverted thinking is introverted feeling. The two Myers Briggs types that use introverted feeling as a dominant function are ISFP and INFP. ISFP Coraline Jones from Coraline and INFP Arthur Fleck from Joker illuminate the dominant function of introverted feeling, marked by a deeply personal and identity driven approach. In Coraline's enchanting world, she attends to her own identity, navigating a parallel realm with the commitment to honoring her beliefs and values. Coraline seeks congruency of feeling and action, experiencing her whimsical journey through a lens of passionate exploration, occasionally grappling with instability and self righteousness. Meanwhile, Arthur Fleck in Joker is oriented towards honoring his beliefs and values, navigating a world that challenges his internal sense of morality. This intense connection to his inner values often leads to moments of profound instability, self pity, and self righteousness. Arthur's FI driven perspective is evident in his passionate pursuit of authenticity and his reluctance to compromise his principles, even when faced with adversity. This inner turmoil and conflict between his values and the harsh realities of society drive much of his character development throughout the film, highlighting the complexities of introverted feeling and shaping individual identity and behavior. The second to last function that we're going to explore today is introverted thinking. The two Myers Briggs types that use introverted thinking as a dominant function are ISTP and INTP. ISTP Jim Hopper from Stranger Things and INTP Alice from Alice in Wonderland both showcase the dominant function of introverted thinking, emphasizing their internal framework of reasoning and a quest for accuracy and precision in knowledge. Hopper tends to his own logical and systematic approach in solving mysteries, seeking skillfulness and self sufficiency to navigate the challenges of the supernatural. Similarly, Alice in her whimsical adventures displays a profound orientation towards internal coherence, questioning and analyzing her surroundings through introverted thinking. Both characters experience the world through a lens of calculation, demonstrating self assurance and confidence in their intellectual capabilities. However, this dedication to their logical frameworks can lead to moments of detachment, reductionism, and occasional dismissiveness. The inferior function pair to introverted thinking is extroverted feeling. The two Myers Briggs types that use extroverted feeling as a dominant function are ESFJ and ENFJ. ESFJ Steven Universe from Steven Universe and ENFJ Quentin Beck Mysterio from the Marvel Cinematic Universe both embody the dominant function of extroverted feeling, demonstrating a keen attentiveness to the feelings of disharmony and harmony and a strong orientation toward feeling valued in the world. Stephen, as the Crystal Gem's compassionate leader, actively seeks rapport and connectedness with others, experiencing the world through the lens of relation. On the other hand, Mysterio, with his illusions and manipulations, exhibits a charismatic and charming demeanor to influence those around him, emphasizing the importance of social consequences in his actions. However, both characters can face challenges stemming from their external feeling dominance, including moments of insecurity, conflict aversion, and occasional sanctimonious behavior. Understanding the nuances of these functions, even past how they look in a dominant hero position in the function stack, offers a profound insight into the unique ways individuals interact with the world. Let me know if you'd like a video about how each of these same functions are expressed in the auxiliary, tertiary, and inferior positions. Part 3: The Sage. As we continue to delve into the fascinating world of Myers Briggs Type Indicator, we transition from a mid level exploration of cognitive functions and their dominant placement to an advanced level discussion about each type's version of ego development. I'm really hoping this is something new that most MBTI lovers haven't heard of, but if you have, please let me know. Ego development, a universal concept in all personality systems, plays a crucial role, shaping personality evolution. It is not enough to just identify as a particular Myers Briggs type. Understanding ego development aids in comprehending growth and highlights the importance of continuous self reflection and intentional personal development. Individual differences in ego development are often responsible for intra-type variations. A 20-year-old ESTJ looks very different from a 50-year-old ESTJ. An ESTJ growing up in poverty with little opportunity for growth will look very different from an ESTJ of the same age who grew up in a financially secure and supportive household. The concept of ego development is important because personality type by itself isn't enough to account for all of the influences and changes that affect individuals as they travel through the messiness of life. Maturity is not a zero sum game. It is an ever evolving journey that transcends egocentrism and outward success, emphasizing evolving perspectives. Conceptualizing ego development as psychological evolution signifies a gradual widening and deepening of perspectives over time. In this third part, we will explore all 7 stages of MBTI ego development through the lens of 7 of our fictional cast of characters. Let's jump in. In phase 1 of ego development, the initial step is ego formation, encompassing the first 3 levels of ego development. Even though personality type has innate components, true identity construction begins as a gradual process, usually in childhood where dominant functions emerge around the age of 7. Phase 1 is marked by egocentrism, a necessary stage of ego formation. This mindset entails using personal experiences as the primary lens to understand the world, considering oneself as the center of the universe. Egocentrism is crucial for learning how to honor oneself. It can sometimes result in a blurred boundary between the subjective and the objective. More on that later. In adulthood, phase 1 unfolds through three distinct mindsets and levels of ego development: self protection, social identification, and selfhood, with each reflecting varying degrees of egocentrism. Let's delve into level 1, the self protection mindset, where the main motivation is defending self interest. Individuals at this level are easily triggered into fight or flight mode by negative emotions. Their self concept revolves around projecting strength while concealing weakness, often using control and power to avoid vulnerability. They define success as an easy life devoid of troubles and view wrongdoing in terms of avoiding detection and punishment. Interpersonal relationships for them are often marked by mistrust, blame, and paranoia. Now, applying this to our character analysis, let's explore how ENFJ Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, embodies level 1 of ego development as an ENFJ. At this stage, his dominant function of extroverted feeling is distorted, manifesting as hypersensitivity, neediness, and guardedness. Quentin Beck's transformation into Mysterio is deeply rooted in his embitterment towards Tony Stark, exemplifying a distorted extroverted feeling at level 1. Instead of addressing his grievances constructively, Beck resorts to manipulation, creating a fictional superhero and orchestrating attacks to control the narrative around him, reflecting the self protective mindset of this ego development stage. His auxiliary, introverted intuition becomes overdependent and opinionated, leading to manipulative behaviors known in cult leaders. Under intense stress or in the grip of his inferior introverted thinking, he engages in compulsive searches for truth, becomes critical, and displays inflexibility. Quentin Beck's character provides a lens to understand how individuals at level 1 navigate the world, grappling with fear, mistrust, and a skewed sense of self protection. His self concept aligns with level 1 characteristics, projecting strength while concealing weakness. Through illusions of superpowers and complex deceptions, Beck seeks to portray power and capability, a manifestation of the egocentric tendency to use control and power to avoid vulnerability. As Spider Man uncovers Mysterio's deceit, Beck's defensiveness intensifies, mirroring the typical response of those at level 1 when faced with a threat. His overconfidence in the illusion leads to defensive measures such as recording a falsified confession, exposing a deep fear of being exposed and punished. This defensive maneuver aligns with the ego protection motive of level 1, providing insight into the intricate dynamics of Quentin Beck's psychological journey. In the second phase of ego development, we delve into the social identification mindset, where the main motivation is gaining group acceptance. Those at this level are easily triggered by feelings of disapproval or rejection, preoccupied with adhering to social rules and standards. Success is envisioned as having a good reputation, and the self concept revolves around acceptability while hiding shame. Individuals in this mindset use social appearances to gain praise and status, defining wrongdoing in terms of non compliance. Trust is primarily reserved for members of the in group. Now, let's examine how Blair Waldorf from Gossip Girl provides a compelling illustration of level 2 ego development. At this stage, Blair's dominant function of extroverted thinking is influenced, resulting in a need to maintain an ego image as influential and competent. She seeks out social circles where she can assert herself as a leader and be admired by her peers. In terms of her ESTJ level 2 ego defense, Blair remains guarded when facing disapproval or rejection, often becoming upset and going to great lengths to regain her status and reputation. She meticulously follows social rules and standards, expecting others to adhere to them as well. Blair's engagement in secret schemes and manipulative tactics further illustrates her tendency to pursue hidden interests and hobbies, especially if they align with her ego image. These aspects of Blair's character shed light on the nuanced dynamics of an ESTJ's level 2 development, showcasing the complexities of navigating social connections and the quest for acceptance amongst her chosen group. In our exploration of ego development, we now delve into level 3, the selfhood mindset. This is where the majority of adults find themselves, characterized by a main motivation to maintain personal space. Individuals at this level are easily triggered by feelings of oppression and are preoccupied with expressing personal traits. Their vision of success revolves around personal freedom, and their self concept centers on personal beliefs and values. They often use social comparison to feel unique or special and define wrongdoing as a failure to live up to expectations. In cognitive function terms, the average adult at this level understands the strengths of their dominant function but tend to rely too heavily on it. Problems with auxiliary development arise when it challenges their self concept, and they may exhibit tertiary loop tendencies when feeling invalidated. Under stress, individuals at level 3 may engage in an inferior grip. Moving beyond this mindset involves recognizing that personal beliefs and values, while essential, can be limiting and should be adjusted when hindering personal growth. To illustrate level 3, we turn to the character of Miguel O'Hara from Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Miguel O'Hara and ISTJ showcases traits aligned with the selfhood mindset. In terms of cognitive functions, Miguel's dominant introverted sensing manifests as a practical, structured, and meticulous individual. He is dutiful, diligent, and committed, displaying logical and organized traits. While these traits are very apparent, Miguel also tends to let the rigid, serious, critical, and judgmental side of introverted sensing overpower his decision making. His inexpressive nature and a preference for working alone highlight an over reliance on his dominant introverted sensing characteristics, which is the typical over reliance we often see at the level 3 of ego development. Miguel's ISTJ ego defense mechanism at level 3 includes an inability to delegate, indicating a reluctance to relinquish control. He secretly pursues his own initiatives without consulting others, demonstrating a rigid adherence to procedures and exacting enforcement of standards. Additionally, he sees preferences that differ from his own as over-involved, weak, subjective when feeling related, or frustratingly careless and lazy when perceiving related. In the narrative of the film, Miguel's traumatic experiences lead to a shift in his personality. Once sarcastic and casual, he becomes emotionally traumatized after failing to save an alternate reality from destruction. This trauma of not living up to his own unrealistic expectations of dominance and order transforms him into a cold, irritable, and obsessive individual, working tirelessly to preserve the canon and stability of the web of life and destiny. Miguel's character provides a lens to understand individuals at level 3, showcasing how personal beliefs and values, while crucial, can become limiting. The analysis of Miguel O'Hara's traits shed light on the nuanced dynamics of the selfhood mindset, offering insight into the complexities of balancing personal freedom with growth in interpersonal relationships. Transitioning between the first and second phases of ego development, we encounter level 4, the conscientious mindset. In this phase, the main motivation shifts towards progress and achievement. Individuals in level 4 are easily triggered by feelings of inadequacy and become preoccupied with choosing a longer term direction of life. Success is envisioned as the determination to reach goals, and the self concept revolves around pride and capability. Talents and skills are strategically used to obtain tangible rewards, and wrongdoing is defined as violating one's conscience. Individuals at this stage appreciate others for their tangible contributions. The conscientious mindset signifies a potential turning point in ego development, marking a realization that egocentrism may be limiting personal growth. People at this stage exhibit thinking that recognizes the need for personal responsibility and self improvement. While still considered egocentric, the positive aspect is a better ability to choose healthier methods for handling psychological conflicts. Transparently, I personally believe that this is the stage I have recently started a new chapter in. And another fun fact, as we go through the rest of the levels of ego development growth, the rest of the character examples are funny enough children. I didn't plan it that way. That is literally how my personality database research fell into place, but that represents to me a move toward the inner child is always the best move to make. Now, to illustrate level 4, we turn to the character of Aang from Avatar, The Last Airbender, one of my faves. Aang is an ENFP like me, who showcases traits aligned with the conscientious mindset. Aang, born an air nomad, emerges from a century-long slumber to a world consumed by war, facing the responsibility of mastering all four bending elements to end the Hundred-Year War. Despite the loss of his people and heavy burdens, Aang maintains an ENFP's carefree exterior while embodying level 4 traits of ego development. In terms of cognitive functions, Aang's dominant extroverted intuition manifests as flexibility, optimism, spontaneity, and an orientation toward progress and change. He is empathetic, innovative, and team focused, displaying supportiveness, friendliness, and a care for others. Aang is adept at mediating conflict, forging consensus, and promoting inclusivity. At this level, he does begin to notice his blind spots, such as poor attention to practical details and impatience about evaluating ideas realistically. I know a thing or two about that. Aang's ENFP level 4 ego defense mechanism still involves rationalizing away suggestions to be more practical, indicating a reluctance to fully embrace certain aspects of thinking and sensing preferences. However, he starts to see some value in these preferences, accepting positive or encouraging feedback from others whose strengths are his weaknesses. Aang's journey, born as an air nomad and later adapting to his role as the Avatar, reflects the conscientious mindset's emphasis on progress and achievement. Aang's character provides a rich exploration of the transitional period between Phase 1 and Phase 2 ego development, shedding light on how individuals at level 4 navigate the complexities of personal growth, achievement, and maintaining a sense of self. Moving from the transitional phase to the second phase of ego development is defined by the release from the ego. The second phase involves a profound shift, overcoming egocentrism. It's a gradual process of recognizing the boundary between the subjective and the objective, learning to harmonize the two. This transition allows mental energy to be freed up for a deeper understanding of oneself and the world. However, reaching this phase typically occurs in mid adulthood, and regrettably, not everyone embarks on this enlightening journey. While phase 1 growth might happen somewhat naturally as people mature normally into adulthood, phase 2 growth requires people to devote time and energy to self work, which is why fewer people get there. Phase 2 unfolds through three distinct mindsets and levels of ego development: self insight, authenticity, and wholeness. In the level 5 self insight mindset, the main motivation is working through difficulties, paying close attention to feelings of conflictedness, and being preoccupied with paradoxes and contradictions. The envisioned success lies in making sense of complexity, and the self concept is positive and malleable to change. Deep introspection is used to understand motivation, and wrongdoing is defined in terms of psychological causality. Is conflict being processed from your subjective reality, or is it being handled from a more objective place of mind? Creating meaningful relationships is achieved by appreciating true individuality. The self insight mindset signals a departure from egocentrism. Individuals at this level recognize the complexity of identity beyond the self. They embrace ambiguity, uncertainty, and complexity, fostering a greater tolerance for the diversity of human experience. In terms of cognitive functions, those with the self insight mindset become less defensive of the ego, acknowledging and optimizing the use of dominant and auxiliary functions. The tertiary function gains importance and traits are expressed in positive, selfless ways. Now, let's delve into the character of Haku from Spirited Away as a lens to understand the level 5 insight mindset, specifically as an INTJ. Haku in Spirited Away exemplifies the self insight mindset, and from the beginning, he plays a pivotal role in guiding Chihiro. Haku first displays a global vision when guiding Chihiro through the spirit world. His balance between his dominant function of introverted intuition and auxiliary function of extroverted thinking is evident in his strategic approach to help Chihiro navigate challenges, providing her with valuable insights about the spirit world's complexities. Haku, rather than being overly critical, is tactfully honest with Chihiro. He shares essential information about the spirit world without dismissing her lack of knowledge. Chihiro's naivete would not be handled as well by an INTJ at lower levels of ego development. His acceptance of ambiguity is demonstrated when Chihiro faces contradictory information about him, and he remains steadfast in his support. Haku's revelation as Yubaba's slave and henchman adds a layer of complexity to his character, highlighting the psychological causality that defines wrongdoing at this level. He's not all good and not all bad. He's being forced to do shady work on behalf of Yubaba to one day figure out his true spiritual identity. Haku values simple pleasures when he helps Chihiro find a job in the bathhouse, ensuring her survival. His concern for others is evident in his support of Chihiro and even in the face of danger. He encourages her to face challenges and remains supportive throughout her journey. Haku's character demonstrates being in touch with himself, especially when he reveals his vulnerability in his past connection to Chihiro. Yet, there is still insecurity about personal competence, and when he constantly bows down to Yubaba's control, revealing a deeper layer to his character. In conclusion, Haku's multifaceted personality and his journey with Chihiro offer us a glimpse into the self insight mindset. His willingness to explore complexities of his identity, acknowledge contradictions, and work through difficulties together with Chihiro signifies a remarkable evolution in Haku's ego development. Now, let's delve into the sixth level of ego development, known as the authenticity mindset. At this stage, individuals exhibit a deep understanding and acceptance of all feelings. They are preoccupied with grasping the multifaceted reality, striving to live life with greater objectivity. The self concept at this level recognizes interdependence with the world, and wrongdoing is seen as a challenge for learning and growth. Individuals at this level are driven by a quest for meaningful fulfillment. It's not just about personal achievement, but finding purpose and depth in their endeavors. There's a profound acknowledgement and acceptance of the entire spectrum of emotions. Instead of avoiding or suppressing feelings, there's a willingness to explore and understand them deeply. Individuals at level 6 ego development are engrossed in comprehending the intricacies of reality. This goes beyond a superficial understanding, involving a nuanced exploration of the multifaceted nature of existence. Striving for objectivity becomes a cornerstone. The subjective and objective are recognized as separate yet interdependent, eliminating the conflict between the two. The self concept to embrace the idea that being oneself is also being truly connected to the world. This interdependence is understood at a profound level. Instead of viewing mistakes as threats, they are seen as opportunities for learning and growth. Wrongdoing is not a source of shame, but a stepping stone toward personal development. Relationships are built on a foundation of mutuality. There's a genuine connection that goes beyond egocentric concerns, fostering deep and meaningful connections with others. In cognitive function terms, individuals at this level establish a sophisticated relationship between auxiliary and tertiary functions. This opens a bridge to connecting them with the inferior function, eliminating defensive mechanisms. Now, let's examine Alice from Disney's Alice in Wonderland, specifically showcasing how she embodies the characteristics of the level 6 authenticity mindset as an INTP. Alice demonstrates a balanced combination of her dominant introverted thinking and extroverted intuition, showcasing mental agility, creativity, and a penchant for making unique connections in complex issues. Throughout her adventures, Alice authentically displays the keen imagination and decisiveness of an INTP, navigating the whimsical world of Wonderland with curiosity and ingenuity. Unlike lower levels of ego development, Alice shows less of a need to defend her ego image of being intelligent and independent, allowing her to engage more authentically with the present moment and those around her. Moreover, Alice begins to access her extroverted feeling function, becoming more empathetic, socially aware, and willing to express depth of feeling. Despite her occasional moments of arrogance and narcissism stemming from her strong sense of individuality, Alice's journey reflects a maturation of her INTP traits toward a more balanced and integrated state of authenticity and emotional awareness. Okay, we finally reached the seventh and final level of ego development, known as the wholeness mindset. At this stage, individuals are driven by the motivation to transcend ego conflict. The understanding that opposites are mere constructs of a frightened ego becomes very apparent. This consciousness at level 7 allows individuals to place their emotions within a broader perspective, consolidating inner fragments into a meaningful whole. Decision making is informed by the integration of opposites, leading to profound wisdom. In the wholeness mindset, the self concept remains continuously open to new growth possibilities. Morality and justice are comprehended on a broad scale, reflecting a mature understanding. At this level, articulating complex awareness of self and others becomes a skill, allowing for rich and nuanced communication. It is crucial to note that level 7 is not perceived as the traditional highest stage, as there is no hierarchical concept at this point in ego development. I personally love this more feminine and horizontal way of being. Few individuals reach this mindset, making it challenging for researchers to provide a detailed characterization of it. But Abraham Maslow's notion of the self actualizing and transcendent person aligns with this mindset. Let's explore how Steven Universe, specifically in the context of his personality type as an ESFJ, embodies the wholeness mindset. In the world of Steven Universe, Stephen Quartz Universe exemplifies the characteristics of level 7 through his role as a caregiver and his journey towards self discovery. As an ESFJ, Stephen is driven by the need to organize, do right by others, and provide care. At level 7, he recognizes that these tendencies are rooted in the ego and accepts differences, valuing diverse perspectives. Stephen showcases an integration of every single function: sensing, intuition, thinking, and feeling preferences. He transcends black and white thinking, understanding the importance of a third viable perspective. His character development reflects the maturity of an individual at the wholeness mindset. His interaction with others, even enemies, highlight his capacity to integrate opposing perspectives. Stephen's dedication to protecting humanity and his compassionate nature align with the characteristics of a wholeness mindset. His ability to inspire, bind, and remind others reflects the deep understanding of morality and justice associated with this level. As we witness Stephen's journey, we observe his growth from a tag-along to the heart of the crystal gems. His optimistic, friendly, and compassionate nature, combined with his resourcefulness, align with the traits of an individual at level 7. Despite facing suppressed trauma and questioning his self identity, Stephen continuously strives for growth. In the latter stages of the series, we witness Stephen's struggles, his self identity crisis, and the manifestation of his suppressed trauma. His road trip to explore the world and find himself signifies the openness to new growth possibilities, a characteristic of the wholeness mindset. As we bid farewell to Stephen in the future, we see a matured individual when he's leaving Beach City, embracing the world and symbolically passing on the torch. This departure echoes the essence of level 7, the transcendence of ego conflicts and the pursuit of a broader, more profound understanding of self and others. In conclusion, The wholeness mindset, as illustrated by Steven Universe, is a testament to the complexity and depth of human development. It encourages us to reflect on our own journeys, seeking the integration of opposites and continuously embracing growth and understanding. From level 1 to level 7, we catch a glimpse of each character's unique stage in ego development, offering a fascinating lens through which we can understand our own journeys. Now it's time to reflect on your own personality type, ego development stage, and perhaps gain insights into your own personal growth journey. Thank you so much for embarking on this personality exploration journey with Hot Nerd Net and me, from breaking down the basics in part one to diving deep into character functions in part two, and finally unraveling the advanced layers of ego development in part three. We have covered it all. Well, kind of. Now, hot nerds, it's your turn. Drop a comment below with your Myers Briggs personality type. Let me know where you see yourself in the ego development journey and suggest the next fascinating personality system you want us to dissect. Smash that like button, hit subscribe for more mind bending content, and ring that notification bell so you're the first to know when we drop our next personality deep dive. Stay nerdy, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next Hot Nerd Net adventure. Until then, keep exploring the extraordinary world of personalities. Bye.